Hello again, boys and girls. This is the second page of Lesson 4 problem set. Our learning target, just so we know that what we'll be working on, is we can interpret data in bar graphs. So we don't have to create one on this page, we just have to interpret the data. Let's go ahead and look at this bar graph and see what kind of information it gives us. Okay, remember every graph has a title. So this is talking to us about carnival visitors. And I'm gonna make that line a little bit thicker, I think. Okay, and the scale talks about the number of visitors. And remember, this is the y-axis. And down here we have the x-axis. And on the x-axis, you will find the days of the week. Okay, so these are your labels. Now let's take a look at that scale. It looks pretty complicated. There's a lot of hash marks in there, tick marks, whatever you want to call them, but they are not all labeled. But I do see it's counting 0, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. So I can tell it's counting by 50s. So when I look at here and I see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces in between 0 and 50, I think, how many would each one of those spaces stand for or represent? And I think I can skip count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Looks like they are skip counting by tens. So each one of these small marks in between is another 10. So when I look here at one mark right here, right there above 100, that would be 110. Okay, I hope you all see that. What if I come up here and they have this little dotted line right here? That was one tick mark below 350, so be 350 minus 10, which would be 340. So this line here would represent 340. Okay? So hopefully that shows you how to read the scale. Now, all we're going to do is answer a couple questions about this bar graph. And you can see there's 5 days of the week, and it's the number of visitors the carnival had on each one of those 5 days. So let's look at the first question. How many fewer visitors were there on the least busy day than on the busiest day? So the nice thing about a bar graph is I can look up here quickly without even looking at the numbers and saying the busiest day is right here. It's the one with the tallest bar. And that is, if I trace this across, that dotted line that they gave me, I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to trace that across. And that's not at 450 and it's not at 400. It's at 410, 420, 430. So the busiest day was 430. I'm going to write that number down here to keep myself organized as well as my thoughts organized, my information organized. And then I'm going to look at the least busy day. Again, I don't have to look at the numbers, but I can look right here, and this is the smallest bar, so that will be the least busy day. And they gave me a nice little dotted line for me to follow across from the bar to the scale. And it's one tick mark below 200. So it'd be 200 minus 10, which would be 190. So the busiest day saw 430 visitors at the park, and the least busy day saw 190. The question's asking me, though, how many fewer visitors were there? So let's think of what number sentence we could write for that. If I want to find out how many fewer visitors there were on the least busy day than the busiest day, I'm going to start with my bigger number, which was 430, which represents the busiest day. And then I will subtract 190, which represents the least busy day. And that will be my number sentence. Okay. And again, if you want to do your algorithm over here on the side, you can. 430 minus 190. Some of you might be able to do that mentally. Remember, it's important to line up your tens with your tens, your ones with your ones, your hundreds with your hundreds. I'm going to start with the ones. 0 ones minus 0 ones is 0 ones. Okay, and then I'm going to subtract the tens. We can't take 9 tens from 3 tens, so I have to unbundle. I'll go over to the hundreds place. 4 hundreds will now be 3 hundreds, but the good news is instead of just 3 tens, I'll have 10 more than that. I'll have 13 tens. So 13 minus 9 gives me 4. And last but not least, I'll subtract my hundreds. 3 hundreds minus 100 gives me 200s. So how many fewer visitors were there? Well, I can come over here and finish my number sentence then. 430 minus 190 gives me 240, and I will call them fewer visitors. All right. Okay, question B says, how many more visitors attended the carnival on Monday and Tuesday combined than on Thursday and Friday combined? Wow. So it looks like I'm going to have to look at the numbers for Monday and Tuesday and combine them. And then I will have to look at the numbers for Thursday and Friday and combine them. So Monday and Tuesday combined, then Thursday and Friday combined. Again, I'm going to type my numbers or draw them above the days of the week so that I can keep my work organized and my thoughts work organized. So underneath Monday, well, Monday had, if I look up here, here's Monday, and if I trace that line over, oh, we had already identified it, it was 340. So I'll put 340 down here for Monday. Tuesday, and go back up to my bar graph. There is no table for us to look at, so they're really making us rely on reading the bar graph. So Tuesday, that's an easy one. If I follow the bar across, it goes right on that line that represents 300. So that's 300. And if I combine those two, 340 plus 300, that would be the total for Monday and Tuesday. I think you should be able to do that mentally. I'll give you a minute to think of that. Okay, got it? 340 plus 300 is 640. And if I ask, what does that represent? That represents Monday and Tuesday combined. Now I'm going to go back up and I'm going to look at Thursday. This is a trickier one. I'm going to follow that dotted line that they have drawn for us over to the scale from the bar. It is one tick mark less than 200. So Thursday would be 190 because that is 10 less than 200. All right. And then Friday, go to the Friday bar, follow that dotted line again, right across. And when I get over here, I'm right there. Okay, it's not 350, it's not 400. It is 2 tick marks above 350. So the first one would be 360. The second one would be 370. So that is 370. Okay, now if I want to combine those two, that means I have to add 190 and 370. So I'm going to use my typing feature because it's a little bit quicker and neater. So I'm going to add 190, which represents Thursday, to 370, which represents Friday. And then I need to get that total. So again, I'm going to do my algorithm over here on the side and I'll put it over here this time. We've got 190 plus 370. You can also do this algorithm. Make sure you line up your digits, the ones under the ones, the tens under the tens, and the hundreds under the hundreds. Give you a minute to do that. Okay, very good. So add the ones place, 0 plus 0 is 0. That's easy. 9 plus 7 is 16. That's 16 tens. So that is 6 tens and 100. And then we add our hundreds. 100 plus 100 is 200 plus 300 is 500. All right. So if I come down here and put that in my number sentence, 190 plus 370 is 560. 560 more visitors. And where did I get that from? I go back up to the question and I can see the question actually was asking me how many more visitors attended. All right. Okay, boys and girls, I hope that was helpful for you. And tomorrow you're going to be doing lesson 4 homework for a grade to be submitted. All right, please contact me if you have questions or you want more help with this skill. All right, take care.